You see, life has a way of teaching us some tough lessons. It doesn't care about your plans or how ready you think you are. It'll throw obstacles in your way. It's like playing a game where the rules keep changing, but you're expected to win anyway. So let me tell you about these 8 harsh truths. They're not here to scare you. They're here to prepare you. Truth 1, life is unfair. Now, you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but let it sink in. Life is unfair. There will be days where you put in all the effort and still things won't go your way. The promotions you thought you deserved, someone else gets them. The relationships you worked hard for, they fall apart. But here's the thing, what you do when life throws unfairness at you is what defines you. How you respond, not how you complain. Truth to success takes time. We live in a world that loves quick results, microwave success. But let me be real with you, success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Every overnight success story you hear about had years of grinding behind the scenes. You need patience, perseverance, and faith in the process. Truth 3, failure is inevitable. If you're out there trying to do anything worthwhile, you're going to fail. Over and over. But failure isn't the end, it's the beginning of growth. The real question is, are you willing to fail forward? Will you take the lesson? Or will you quit? Truth 4, people will let you down. We're human. People will disappoint you. Friends, family, even mentors. And that's okay, because life's not about holding grudges. It's about understanding that everyone is on their own journey. So when people let you down, keep moving. Don't let their actions define your destiny. Truth 5, you can't please everyone. This is a big one. Stop trying to make everyone happy. You can't live for everybody else's approval. People will criticize you no matter what you do. Some will cheer for you and others will boo. What matters is that you stay true to your own path. Walk your road, not someone else's. Truth 6, pain is part of growth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you stretch beyond your limits. It's that pain, that discomfort, that frustration is shaping you into the person you're meant to be. Embrace it. The fire you're going through right now, it's refining you. Truth 7, hard work beats talent. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you're not working, someone with less talent but more hustle is going to surpass you. Hard work is the great equalizer. Talent will only take you so far. Effort will take you farther. These truths aren't here to break you down. They're here to build you up. Life will test you. But if you can understand these truths, you'll be ready for whatever comes your way. So take them in, own them, and use them to rise above every challenge life throws at you. Because this journey is tough, but you're tougher. Life is unfair. It's a hard pill to swallow, but the sooner we accept it, the better prepared we are to navigate the unpredictable terrain of life. You can do everything right, follow the rules, and still not get the outcome you hope for. It's frustrating, isn't it? You work harder than the next person, but they get the promotion. You give your all in a relationship, yet it falls apart. You plan your life carefully, but things just don't turn out the way you envision. That's life. But here's the catch: fairness is a human construct. The universe doesn't operate on our concept of fairness. It doesn't owe us anything in exchange for our efforts. We often expect life to give us something in return for the work we put in, but it doesn't work that way. You can spend years chasing a dream, doing everything by the book, and still fall short. Yet someone else, seemingly doing less, seems to catch every break. That's life in its rawest form, unpredictable and sometimes unjust. The real challenge, though, is what we do when we face this unfairness. It's easy to get bitter, to feel like giving up. It's easy to point fingers and say, this isn't fair, but complaining doesn't change your reality. It won't reverse the disappointment, nor will it make life suddenly treat you differently. What really matters is how you respond. When life throws you an unfair situation, will you let it defeat you, or will you rise above it? That's where your strength and resilience come into play. See, life isn't about everything working out perfectly. It's about learning how to thrive in spite of the imperfections. You have to accept that there will always be things beyond your control. There will always be moments that make you question why things are happening to you when you feel you've done all the right things. But the truth is, those moments of unfairness shape you. They build character. They teach you to be adaptable, to push forward when the odds are stacked against you. Life will throw obstacles in your path. Some will seem unjust, but instead of letting them break you, let them fuel your drive. Every time you overcome an unfair situation, you get stronger, more resilient, and more equipped to handle the next challenge. It's not the fairness of life that determines your success, it's your attitude, your ability to persevere, and your willingness to keep going despite it all. So yes, life is unfair. It always has been and always will be. But that's not where your story ends. It's simply where the lesson begins. Don't let unfairness make you bitter. Let it make you better. Success takes time. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, it's easy to forget that real achievement doesn't happen overnight. We live in an age where we see highlight reels, people's best moments, their achievements, their victories plastered all over social media. It's tempting to believe that success is quick and easy because we rarely see the struggle behind it. But the truth is, success is built over time, layer by layer, brick by brick. Every great achievement has a long story behind it. It's filled with early mornings, late nights, sacrifices, and countless hours of practice, effort, and focus. The people who seem to make it overnight have been grinding for years, often in the shadows with no audience cheering them on. They faced doubt, failure, and obstacles along the way, but they kept pushing forward. That's the reality behind success. It's a long, winding road, not a sprint to the finish line. Patience is key. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. You put in the work, but the payoff doesn't seem to match your effort. You start to wonder if you're wasting your time or if it's even worth it. But real success isn't measured in days or even months. It's a marathon that requires endurance, commitment, and the willingness to keep going even when progress seems slow. Sometimes the process itself is the most important part. It's where you grow, learn, and develop the skills that will sustain your success once you achieve it. The setbacks, the failures, the challenges, they're not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. They teach you resilience, discipline, and the ability to adapt. These are the qualities that ensure your success is lasting, not fleeting. Success also requires consistency. It's not about making one big leap and suddenly arriving at your destination. It's about showing up day after day, doing the work, and trusting the process, even when you don't see immediate results. Small, consistent actions repeated over time lead to big outcomes. Each step you take might seem insignificant on its own, but over time, those steps compound, and suddenly you're much farther along than you realized. There will be moments when you question whether you're on the right path, whether all the effort is worth it. In those moments, remember that success is not just about the end result, it's about the journey. It's about who you become along the way. The road to success is often long and filled with obstacles. But those challenges are what make the destination worthwhile. They prepare you for the weight of success so that when you finally achieve your goals, you're ready to sustain them. So while the world may tell you to seek shortcuts, to chase quick wins, don't fall into the trap. Understand that success, the kind that lasts, takes time. It requires patience, perseverance, and the belief that every small step forward is bringing you closer to your goal. The key is to stay the course, even when the path is long. Because in the end, the time you invest in your success is what makes it truly meaningful. Failure is inevitable. No matter how skilled, prepared, or determined you are, there will be times when things don't go as planned. You'll fall short, make mistakes, and face setbacks. That's just part of the journey. Failure isn't something to fear or avoid, it's something to embrace. Because in failure, there are lessons, growth, and opportunities to refine yourself and your approach. Many people are paralyzed by the fear of failure. They believe that one misstep or wrong decision will ruin everything. But the truth is, failure is not the end, it's a part of the process. Every successful person you admire has failed at some point. In fact, the more they've accomplished, the more failures they've likely experienced along the way. They didn't let failure define them, they let it teach them. And that's the key understanding, that failure is not a dead end, but a detour that can lead you to even greater success. When you fail, you're given a chance to evaluate. Maybe your approach wasn't right, or perhaps the timing was off. Whatever the case, failure provides feedback. It tells you what didn't work and gives you the opportunity to adjust your strategy. If you never fail, you never really get the chance to improve, because you're always staying within your comfort zone. Failure pushes you out of that comfort zone and forces you to innovate, to find new ways of doing things, and to grow in ways you hadn't anticipated. The most important part of failure is how you respond to it. Do you let it defeat you, or do you rise up and try again? Those who succeed don't necessarily fail less than others, they just refuse to stay down. They use failure as fuel to keep pushing forward, to refine their goals, and to build resilience. Resilience is one of the greatest strengths you can develop, and it only comes from facing challenges and setbacks head on. I think of failure as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Every time you fail, you're one step closer to success, because each failure brings with it a lesson. Maybe it's a lesson in patience and persistence, or in humility. Whatever it is, that lesson is crucial to your development. Without failure, you'd miss out on these valuable learning experiences that shape who you are and how you approach the next challenge. Failure also keeps you grounded. It reminds you that success isn't guaranteed, and that effort and perseverance are essential. It humbles you, teaches you to appreciate the wins when they come, and to work even harder for them. Failure is what sharpens your focus and determination, because once you've tasted defeat, you understand the effort required to avoid it in the future. One of the greatest misconceptions about failure is that it's permanent. But failure is only permanent if you allow it to be. If you get knocked down and stay down, that's when failure becomes the end of your story. But if you choose to get back up, to learn from the experience and to keep moving forward, failure simply becomes a chapter in your journey, not the conclusion. In the grand scheme of life, failure is an inevitable part of success. It's not something to be feared, but rather something to be expected and embraced. The key is to not let it stop you, but to let it mold you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Every failure is an opportunity to come back better. And if you're willing to learn from it, you'll find that success is not only possible, it's inevitable too. People will let you down. It's an unfortunate reality of life, but one that everyone will experience at some point. Whether it's a close friend, a family member, a colleague, or even a mentor, someone you trust will fail to meet your expectations. They may break promises, disappoint you, or fail to show up when you need them the most. And while it's painful, it's important to understand that this is part of being human. People are flawed, imperfect, and sometimes unable to deliver what we hope for. When people let you down, it can feel like a personal betrayal. You might find yourself asking, why me? What did I do wrong? But often it's not about you. People are dealing with their own struggles, challenges, and limitations that we may never fully understand. Sometimes they don't have the capacity to be what we need them to be, even if they want to. Recognizing this helps you to not take it so personally. It's not always about you, it's about their own journey. The key is learning to manage your expectations. You have to accept that even the people closest to you are capable of letting you down. They have their own lives, their own issues, and they won't always align with what you need or expect. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they don't care about you or that your relationship with them is meaningless. It simply means they are human, and being human means falling short sometimes. When people let you down, it can hurt deeply. But it's an opportunity to practice forgiveness and understanding. You can choose to hold a grudge, to build walls around yourself, and to withdraw emotionally from the people who disappointed you. But holding on to that hurt will only create more pain in your life. On the other hand, when you choose to forgive and let go, you free yourself from that emotional burden. You don't have to condone their behavior or pretend it didn't hurt. But letting go allows you to move forward with less weight on your shoulders. Another important lesson when people let you down is learning self-reliance. You can't put your happiness or success in the hands of others. People can support you, encourage you, and uplift you, but ultimately you are responsible for your own path. When you rely too heavily on others, their inevitable failures can shake your foundation. But when you build your life on your own inner strength, people letting you down becomes less devastating. It may still hurt, but it won't derail you. It's also essential to establish boundaries. When people continuously let you down, it's okay to reassess those relationships. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing people to walk all over you. It's about giving grace, but also protecting your peace. If someone consistently disappoints you or takes advantage of your trust, it may be time to create some distance. This isn't about bitterness, it's about self-respect and knowing when to invest your energy elsewhere. Lastly, understand that just as people will let you down, you will also let others down. None of us are perfect. We have our own shortcomings, and there will be times when we can't be everything someone else needs. Recognizing your own fallibility helps you extend grace to others. It fosters empathy because you realize that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. When people let you down, it doesn't mean the relationship is over or that they don't care about you. It just means that they're human, like you. Sometimes they'll come through for you, and sometimes they won't. What matters is how you choose to respond. Will you let their failure harden your heart, or will you allow it to deepen your understanding of the complexities of human relationships? In the end, people letting you down is inevitable, but it doesn't have to define you. It's part of life's ebb and flow, a reminder that no one is perfect and no one can fulfill every expectation we place on them. But through those disappointments, you gain resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to love people as they are, not as you wish them to be. You can't please everyone. It's one of the hardest lessons to learn in life, but also one of the most liberating. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you bend over backward to accommodate others, there will always be someone who disapproves, criticizes, or is unsatisfied with what you do. This truth can be painful at first, especially for those who naturally want to make people happy. But once you realize it's impossible to meet everyone's expectations, you start to understand the freedom that comes with living authentically. We're conditioned from an early age to seek approval. Whether it's from family, friends, teachers, or society at large, we're taught that making others happy is a measure of our worth. But as you grow, you start to notice that no matter how hard you try to please one group, there's another group ready to criticize your actions. If you're too bold, some will say you're reckless. If you're too cautious, others will call you timid. There's always someone with an opinion about how you should live your life. The more you try to please everyone, the more you lose touch with yourself. You start making decisions based on what you think others want, rather than what's true to who you are. And in doing so, you end up spreading yourself thin, constantly chasing approval from people who will never be fully satisfied. It's exhausting, and it's a losing battle. The reality is, people's opinions of you will always fluctuate, and trying to manage them all is an impossible task. When you finally accept that you can't please everyone, you begin to live with a sense of authenticity and integrity. You stop making decisions based on external validation and start making them based on what's true to your own values, desires, and purpose. This shift allows you to live more fully because you're no longer confined by the weight of other people's expectations. You start to understand that your worth is not determined by how many people approve of you, but by how aligned you are with your own sense of purpose. Not everyone will understand your choices, and that's okay. Some people may criticize your decisions, while others may distance themselves because you no longer fit into their expectations of who you should be. That's the price of living authentically. But in doing so, you attract people who appreciate you for who you truly are, not for who you try to be in order to make them happy. These are the relationships that are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on superficial approval. There's also an important lesson in understanding that everyone has their own perspective. What pleases one person may offend another. You could do the exact same thing and get completely different reactions from two different people. That's because everyone is viewing the world through their own lens, shaped by their own experiences, beliefs, and values. Trying to adjust yourself to fit all these different perspectives is like trying to hit a constantly moving target. You'll never hit the mark, And even if you did, someone would move the goalpost. One of the greatest freedoms in life comes from realizing that it's okay if some people don't like you, don't approve of you, or don't agree with your choices. Their opinion is not a reflection of your value or worth. When you stop trying to please everyone, you gain the confidence to live in a way that's true to who you are. You start prioritizing what truly matters to you rather than what others expect of you. You set boundaries that protect your peace, and you learn to say no without feeling guilty about it. It's also worth noting that trying to please everyone often leads to compromising your own happiness. You sacrifice your own needs, desires, and well-being in an attempt to keep everyone else satisfied. But in doing so, you end up resenting the very people you're trying to please. You give so much in yourself that there's nothing left for you. Over time, this takes a toll on your mental, emotional, and physical health. So while it may feel uncomfortable at first, learning to let go of the need to please everyone is one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. It allows you to reclaim your life, live on your own terms, and focus on what truly matters to you. It doesn't mean you stop caring about others or become selfish. It simply means you stop sacrificing your authenticity for the sake of approval. At the end of the day, the people who truly matter will respect you for being yourself. They'll value your authenticity, even if they don't always agree with you. And those who don't, well, their approval was never going to sustain you in the first place. Letting go of the need to please everyone allows you to step into your own power, live with purpose, and experience the freedom that comes with being unapologetically you. Pain is part of growth. It's an unavoidable reality that the moments in life when we feel the most discomfort, when we stretch our limits, are often the very moments that lead to the greatest transformation. Growth is rarely easy or comfortable. It demands change, and change can be painful. Whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or the pain of letting go of what no longer serves you, it all plays a crucial role in helping you become who you're meant to be. Think about physical growth. When you were younger, you may have experienced growing pains, literal aches in your body as your bones and muscles developed. It was uncomfortable, but it was necessary for you to grow stronger and taller. The same principle applies to your emotional and spiritual growth. The pain you experience in life is often a sign that something within you is stretching, expanding, and evolving. Pain forces you to confront things you'd rather avoid. It brings up emotions and situations that challenge your current state of being. Maybe it's the pain of a broken relationship that forces you to reevaluate what you want and need from your connections. Maybe it's the pain of failure that pushes you to learn a new skill or rethink your approach. Or perhaps it's the pain of loss that teaches you the importance of cherishing the people and moments that matter most. And whatever the source of the pain, it often holds a lesson, and that lesson leads to growth. There's a certain wisdom that comes from going through painful experiences. Pain teaches you resilience. It shows you what you're capable of enduring, and it reveals strengths you didn't know you had. When you're in the midst of it, it can feel overwhelming, like it will never end. But once you come out on the other side, you often realize that you're stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle future challenges. Pain is like a refining fire. It burns, but it also strengthens and purifies. Growth requires you to step outside of your comfort zone, and pain is usually the catalyst that pushes you to take that step. If life were always easy and comfortable, there would be no reason to change. You'd stay exactly where you are, doing what you've always done, because there'd be no incentive to do anything different. But when pain enters the picture, it disrupts that comfort. It shakes things up and forces you to adapt, to rethink your approach, and to find new ways of being. Pain also teaches you empathy and compassion. When you've experienced hardship, you become more understanding of others who are going through difficult times. You can relate to their struggles because you've been there. This shared experience of pain connects people in a way that little else can. It softens your heart and allows you to approach others with more kindness and understanding. In this way, pain not only fosters personal growth, but also deepens your relationships with others. It's important to remember that pain is not permanent. It's a part of life, but it's not the whole of life. Just as the seasons change, so do the painful moments. They come, they challenge you, and then they pass. What remains is the growth that occurred in the process. Every time you overcome a painful experience, you grow a little bit more. You become more resilient, more capable, and more attuned to what truly matters. Many people try to avoid pain at all costs. They stay in situations that no longer serve them because they fear the discomfort of change. But avoiding pain often means avoiding growth. The truth is, you can't grow without some degree of discomfort. Whether it's the pain of letting go of the past, the pain of pushing yourself beyond your limits, or the pain of failure, it's all part of the process. And while pain is uncomfortable, it's often temporary, while the growth that comes from it is long-lasting. Pain is also a teacher. It teaches you about your limits, but it also shows you how far you can push beyond those limits. It helps you discover your strength, your resilience, and your capacity to endure and thrive. Without pain, there's no real incentive to change or evolve. It's the pressure, the discomfort, the challenge that pushes you to reach new levels of understanding and capability. In the end, pain is not something to be feared, but something to be accepted as part of the journey. It's not a punishment or a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's a signal that you're growing, evolving, and becoming more of who you are meant to be. Instead of resisting the pain, lean into it, learn from it, and allow it to shape you. Because on the other side of pain is growth, and on the other side of growth is a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. Hard work beats talent. While natural ability can give you a head start, it's consistent effort, determination, and perseverance that truly set people apart. Talent alone, no matter how extraordinary, can only take you so far. If it's not backed by hard work, that talent remains untapped, unrefined, and ultimately unfulfilled. On the other hand, someone who may not be the most naturally gifted, but is willing to outwork everyone else, has the potential to surpass even the most talented individuals. The world is full of stories of people with incredible talent who never reached their full potential because they relied too heavily on their natural gifts. They thought that talent alone would carry them to success, but they neglected the discipline and effort needed to develop that talent. They became complacent, believing that their abilities were enough to guarantee them success. Meanwhile, those who were willing to put in the hours, to grind, to work when others were resting, steadily moved ahead. Hard work is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter where you start. If you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can close the gap between you and those with more natural ability. Hard work allows you to develop skills, improve your craft, and overcome challenges that talent alone can't solve. When you show up every day, give your best effort, and commit to constant improvement, you build a level of resilience and discipline that talent alone can't provide. Hard work also breeds consistency. Talent may get you flashes of brilliance, but hard work ensures that you're delivering at a high level day in and day out. Success is not about having one great performance, it's about maintaining excellence over time. That consistency is what makes the difference, and it's something that can only be achieved through hard work. People who rely on talent alone often struggle with consistency because they haven't built the habits and discipline necessary to sustain their performance. Another critical factor is that hard work sharpens talent. Even the most talented people need to practice and refine their abilities. Hard work is what takes raw talent and molds it into something exceptional. Without the dedication to improve and the willingness to learn from mistakes, talent remains stagnant. It's through hard work that you learn to maximize your potential, push beyond your limits, and continually raise the bar for yourself. In addition to refining skills, hard work also develops character. When you work hard for something, you learn the value of persistence, patience, and resilience. You learn how to handle failure and setbacks, and you understand that success doesn't come easily or overnight. This builds a mindset that is crucial for long-term success. Talent without the foundation of hard work often leads to entitlement, whereas hard work fosters humility and a deeper appreciation for the journey. Hard work also creates opportunities, even if you're not the most naturally gifted. When people see your work ethic, your dedication, and your relentless pursuit of improvement, they take notice. Doors open for those who consistently show up and put in the effort. You earn respect and trust not just because of your talent, but because of the reliability and effort you bring to the table. Those who rely solely on talent may not get the same opportunities because they haven't proven they're willing to do the hard work required to sustain success. In the end, talent is a great gift, but it's not the defining factor in success. The person willing to outwork everyone else will eventually surpass the one who relies solely on talent. Talent might give you an edge in the beginning, but hard work will carry you across the finish line. When you combine talent with hard work, you create something truly powerful. But even without extraordinary talent, hard work alone can take you farther than you might imagine. There will always be someone with more natural ability, someone who seems to have it all figured out from the start. But the question isn't how much talent you have, it's how much work you're willing to put in. Are you willing to go the extra mile, to stay late when others leave, to keep pushing when things get tough? That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Hard work, not talent, is what will ultimately determine your success. You're responsible for your own happiness. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness is something that comes from external sources, other people, material possessions, or circumstances aligning perfectly. But the truth is, happiness is an inside job. No one else can create it for you, and no set of external conditions can guarantee it. The power to be happy lies within you, and it's a choice you make every single day. One of the biggest misconceptions is that happiness is something we can find outside of ourselves. We think that once we get the right job, find the perfect partner, or reach a certain level of success, then we'll finally be happy. But even when we achieve those things, the happiness they bring is often temporary. It fades, and we find ourselves searching for the next thing that will fill the void. That's because true happiness doesn't come from what we have or what others can give us. It comes from how we choose to view the world and our place in it. Taking responsibility for your own happiness means recognizing that no one else can fix you or make you feel whole. It means letting go of the idea that someone else can complete you or that you need external validation to feel good about yourself. It's easy to blame others when we're unhappy, to point fingers at the people or circumstances we believe are holding us back. But the reality is, happiness is an internal state, and it's up to you to cultivate it. This doesn't mean that external circumstances don't affect you or that life won't throw challenges your way. There will be times when things feel unfair or when you face hardships that make happiness seem distant. But even in those moments, you have the power to choose how you respond. You can choose to let those challenges define your outlook, or you can choose to focus on what you can control: your mindset, your actions, and your attitude. When you take responsibility for your own happiness, you stop waiting for others to make you feel good. You realize that people will come and go, situations will change, and life will sometimes be difficult, but none of that determines your happiness. You're in control of how you feel and how you respond to the world around you. This mindset shift is empowering because it puts the focus back on what you can do, rather than what others should be doing for you. It also means making choices that align with your well-being. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you start to prioritize your needs, set boundaries, and make decisions that are in your best interest. You stop sacrificing your peace of mind for the sake of pleasing others or conforming to expectations that don't serve you. Instead, you focus on what genuinely brings you joy, fulfillment, and peace, even if it means making tough choices or walking away from situations that no longer serve you. Another aspect of being responsible for your own happiness is recognizing that it's a daily practice. It's not a destination you reach once and then hold on to forever. There will be days when it's harder to find happiness, but the key is to keep looking for it, to keep making choices that support your mental and emotional well-being. It's about cultivating habits that nurture your happiness, whether that's through gratitude, self-care, meaningful connections, or pursuing passions that bring you joy. Relying on others for your happiness often leads to disappointment because people are imperfect. They may not always meet your expectations, and they have their own lives to manage. When you place the responsibility for your happiness on someone else's shoulders, you're setting yourself up for frustration and resentment. But when you take ownership of your happiness, you free yourself from the need for others to fulfill that role. You stop depending on circumstances or people to make you feel good, and you start finding contentment within yourself. Taking responsibility for your own happiness also means being kind to yourself. It means recognizing that happiness doesn't mean being joyful all the time or never facing difficulties. It's about accepting all of your emotions and experiences, even the tough ones, and understanding that they are part of the journey. You don't have to be happy every single moment, but you can make the choice to seek happiness, even in small ways, each day. Ultimately, being responsible for your own happiness is about empowerment. It's about realizing that you have the ability to shape your life, your mindset, and your experiences. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, to find meaning in the challenges, and to cultivate a life that aligns with your values and passions. Happiness is not something you find, it's something you create, and it starts with taking full responsibility for how you approach life. Time is your most valuable asset. Unlike money, which can be earned, spent, and replaced, time is a finite resource. Once a moment passes, you can never get it back. This makes how you choose to spend your time incredibly significant. It's essential to recognize that time is the one thing we all have in equal measure, yet how we use it varies greatly from person to person. Understanding the value of time is crucial to living a fulfilling and purpose-driven life. Every day, you are faced with choices about how to allocate your time. You can spend it on activities that enrich your life, nurture your relationships, and help you grow, or you can waste it on distractions that leave you feeling unfulfilled and regretful. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily demands, allowing time to slip away without conscious thought. Yet each hour, each minute is an opportunity to create something meaningful. Many people live as though they have an unlimited supply of time, postponing their dreams and aspirations for a more convenient moment. They tell themselves they'll pursue their passions later, after work, or when they have more money. But the reality is that life is unpredictable, and the future is never guaranteed. If you wait too long, you risk losing the opportunity to create the life you truly want. Each day is a chance to take steps toward your goals, to invest in yourself, and to connect with others. By recognizing the preciousness of time, you can shift your focus and prioritize what really matters. Moreover, the way you spend your time has a direct impact on your happiness and fulfillment. Engaging in activities that align with your values and passions brings a sense of purpose and joy. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, spending quality time with loved ones, or working towards a personal goal, these are the moments that enrich your life. In contrast, spending too much time on things that drain your energy, such as toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or mindless distractions, can lead to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Understanding the value of time also means learning to set boundaries. It's essential to protect your time from people and situations that do not serve your best interests. Saying no to commitments that do not align with your priorities frees up time for what truly matters. Remember, every time you say yes to something that doesn't resonate with you, you're saying no to the opportunities and experiences that could bring you greater joy and fulfillment. It's not just about managing your time, it's about curating how you spend it. Investing time in self-care is another crucial aspect of valuing your time. Taking the time to recharge, reflect, and nurture your well-being is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you prioritize self-care, you enhance your ability to be present and engaged in all areas of your life. You'll find that you can tackle challenges with greater clarity and resilience when you take the time to care for yourself. In essence, self-care is an investment in your future, enabling you to show up as your best self in every aspect of your life. Another important consideration is that time spent in learning and personal development is perhaps the most valuable investment you can make. Acquiring new skills, gaining knowledge, and pursuing personal growth pays dividends that can last a lifetime. The more you learn and grow, the better equipped you are to navigate life's challenges, seize opportunities, and create a life that reflects your true potential. Investing time in your education, whether formal or informal, expands your horizons and empowers you to achieve your goals. Additionally, being mindful of how you spend your time fosters a greater sense of appreciation for each moment. It encourages you to be present and engaged in your daily activities. Instead of rushing through life, you begin to savor the little moments, the laughter shared with friends, the beauty of nature, or the satisfaction of completing a project. Being intentional about how you use your time cultivates gratitude and enriches your experience of life. Ultimately, time is a non-renewable resource, and how you choose to spend it shapes the course of your life. You have the power to determine what is worth your time and what is not. By prioritizing what truly matters, setting boundaries, investing in yourself, and practicing mindfulness, you can create a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and joy. Remember that every moment counts. Choose wisely, act deliberately, and make the most of the time you have. In doing so, you'll find that time is not just an asset, it's the foundation upon which a meaningful and rewarding life is built. No one owes you anything. This truth can be challenging to accept, but embracing it is crucial for personal growth and fulfillment. Too often, we walk through life with the expectation that others should give us something: recognition, help, love, or even success. We may feel entitled to certain outcomes or believe that our efforts deserve acknowledgement. However, the reality is that no one is obligated to meet our expectations or fulfill our desires. When you live with the belief that others owe you something, you set yourself up for disappointment. You may find yourself feeling resentful when people don't act in accordance with your expectations. This mindset can lead to feelings of victimhood, frustration, and disillusionment. Instead of taking ownership of your journey, you give away your power to others. You become reliant on external validation, which is a precarious position that can lead to a cycle of disappointment. Understanding that no one owes you anything is liberating. It shifts your perspective from one of entitlement to one of responsibility. When you recognize that you are the architect of your life, you start to see that it's up to you to create the experiences and outcomes you desire. You no longer wait for others to give you permission to pursue your dreams or to validate your worth. Instead, you take the initiative to go after what you want, knowing that your happiness and success are ultimately in your hands. This realization also encourages you to cultivate gratitude. When you stop expecting things from others, you begin to appreciate what you do have. You start to recognize the efforts people make, even if they don't meet your expectations. By focusing on gratitude, you shift your energy from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. You become more aware of the gifts in your life, whether they come from friends, family, or even strangers. This shift not only enhances your happiness, but also strengthens your relationships with others. Additionally, accepting that no one owes you anything empowers you to develop resilience. Life will throw challenges your way, and there will be times when you face obstacles without the support you anticipated. Instead of feeling defeated, you learn to rely on your inner strength and resourcefulness. You become proactive, seeking solutions rather than waiting for others to come to your rescue. This resilience builds character and fosters a sense of independence that is vital for personal growth. Moreover, this mindset encourages you to invest in yourself. When you stop expecting others to fulfill your needs, you realize that you must take charge of your own development. You seek out opportunities for learning, growth, and self-improvement. You prioritize your goals and put in the effort required to achieve them, rather than waiting for someone to hand you success on a silver platter. This proactive approach fosters a sense of accomplishment and self-worth that comes from knowing you are the one driving your progress. Relationships also benefit from this understanding. When you no longer expect others to fulfill your needs or desires, you can approach your interactions with a spirit of generosity and compassion. You learn to give without the expectation of receiving in return. This creates a healthier dynamic in your relationships where both parties contribute without keeping score. It fosters deeper connections based on mutual respect and understanding rather than transactional exchanges. In a world that often promotes entitlement and the idea of deserving, it's essential to remember that true fulfillment comes from within. You are responsible for your own happiness, success, and well-being. By letting go of the expectation that others owe you anything, you free yourself to pursue your passions and create a life that resonates with your values. You become the master of your fate, empowered to take action and create the life you envision. In conclusion, embracing the idea that no one owes you anything is a powerful shift that can transform your life. It encourages personal responsibility, resilience, and gratitude. It helps you appreciate what you have, invest in your growth, and build meaningful relationships. Ultimately, it allows you to live life on your terms, free from the constraints of entitlement and expectation. The journey may not always be easy, but when you take ownership of your path, You unlock the potential to create a fulfilling and purposeful life.